Say hello, Lucy. Okay, Lucy has a mango pip on top of her cage that she's currently chewing on, so I'm going to let her get back to that. So hello, welcome back to my Pan That palette. So unfortunately, my palette weighs the exact same amount as last time, despite all the progress I have made on it. Maybe next time we'll get a few more grams off. But I don't know if my scales are just not that accurate or what, but it did seem to be flickering between 470 and 469, so maybe we're getting close, but I don't know. But without further ado, if you like this series, please subscribe to my channel, and I have the playlist to it linked down below. And yeah, we'll get into the actual palette. So, are you ready? I've made some decent progress on some shades. Here we are. So, we'll go through them one by one, as always. So Ranch, there was a tiny little bit of pan in the last update, and now we've got what looks like a Tic Tac of pan, which I think is great progress. I've been using this, as an inner corner highlight pretty much every day, and like today I am wearing it on more of my eye, and I've been doing that a bit. So I'm glad to see that I've made some progress on Ranch. Again, I still don't really like it. It's not the best, but it's the only sort of inner corner highlight shade for me in this palette, so you use what you gotta use. My pills, I think I've only worn it today. But yeah, using it today reminded me of how much I love this shade, and it just works perfectly with my skin tone. Tanacon, I am so close to hitting pan on this. Like, I can see the dip. I don't know how well you can see it, but the dip is so close to being at the level of my pills. Like, I feel like the next update for sure. And Tanacon I pretty much wear every single day to work. So I think by the end of February I'll definitely have some pan on it. And probably some considerable pan, because that dip is not just in one spot, like it's pretty big. Diet Root Beer is finally starting to show some progress. The ridges on the beer glass are starting to wear away, which is good because this one is so hardly pressed that, for the longest time, no progress at all. And Just a Theory is where I've made the most progress. So last month, I don't think I had any pan at all, and now I have this massive bit of pan. I've been wearing this every day to work, so it's been getting some consistent use. I definitely think it'll be one of the first ones I'll finish if I continue using it every day at work, like I have been. Spiraling, I don't think I've worn once. It's, my thoughts on this shade. It's really hard to use, and I've barely even worn off the design of it. Like, compared to Just a Theory, it's really lacking. I should make some more effort to wear it. It's so hard to wear. Conspiracy, I don't think I wore at all this month. Even though it's like the namesake, is that what it's called? Of this palette, I just find it really underwhelming. So, yeah. Pigment I'm wearing today, and I think that's the only time I've worn it this month, sadly. But the pig's balm is starting to fade. Food videos I've used a decent amount. It's one of those hardly pressed ones, so it's gonna take a while for me to hit pan on it, but I am starting to wear away the design, so that's good. Food videos, I really like it, but it's hard to use with like the other fiery tones because it's not really a warm yellow, it's a very cool yellow, which makes it very unique, and it doesn't really go with anything else in this palette, I'm starting to realize, which is just kind of the general theme. And Trisha, yikes. Look, I don't know much about that drama, but it's messed up, and I kind of feel bad for her. It's just one of the many reasons that I want to finish Shane Dawson's palette, because he can just stay off the internet forever as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so I wore Trisha once, and I think today, and yeah, not much progress. Cheese Dust, I've used Cheese Dust and Flaming Hot. I've used these a decent amount, but you can't see any progress on them. I think I'll definitely continue to use them a lot more in the end of February and also towards the autumn months, because they are that sort of warm tone colour scheme. So yeah, hopefully we can see some progress on them, since there's been none so far, but I'll keep using them. We'll see. What's the tea? I think the pan is exactly the same, because I don't think I wore it at all. Diet Cola, I think I might have used this once. Yeah, it's like the most underwhelming silver I have in my collection. Yeah, there's some real duds in this palette. Not a fact, I don't think I used it all this month. Sleep Paralysis. The design is completely gone here, and I don't know, there's no dip yet, but I do think if I use it a little bit more that I'll be getting a dip in it soon. So that's exciting. Illuminati, the eye is completely gone on this, which is good, but I don't think I've used it too much. My Rides here, I've actually used like a bit, and it's starting to show some actual use, which is strange because it's a black. Not a good black, but a black. And black shades are very difficult to use. They're basically only good for liner shades. So what are my goals for next update? I definitely want to get another gram used, because we haven't used a gram since like the first... I definitely want to get another gram used, because we haven't used a gram since the first update. Okay, another thing I want to do... Another goal I have is to hit pan on Tanacon, which I definitely think is realistic, because it already has a huge dip in it, as I explained. So that is in my opinion, that is a realistic goal. Another thing that I definitely think I'll be able to do is use a little bit more of spiraling. Now that I'm looking at the palette as a whole here, it definitely looks the least used out of everything in the palette. Sadly. Well, not sadly, there's an obvious reason. Because it's the worst shade, but I think I need to put some effort into it. I don't want to have all of these shades used up and then just that one perfectly fine. Like, if I'm going to pan the palette, I should focus on the shades that I don't like, even just to get everything done. Another thing that I really want to do is have Cheese Dust and Flaming Hot show some more use, because they're shades that are kind of appropriate for this time, and yeah, they barely look touched, to be honest. I think that the next update will be in autumn, fall for Australia. So I think that I'll be starting to use some shades like Not a Fact and Sleep Paralysis again. Yeah, so hopefully they'll start to show some more wear. Not a Fact is, very hard pressed, so we'll see. I'll try my best to get some more use on it, but it's a very, very difficult one. I think that's all the goals. Hopefully Diet Root Beer will also show some more use. But I don't think I'll be hitting pan on that one anytime soon, much like Not a Fact. Yeah, I don't know. I think this recent drama with Trisha and Shane not supporting Trisha and supporting Jeffree. I think it just highlights the lies that Shane told us. I think it just highlights the lies that Shane told us. Okay, Trisha is not a perfect person, and Trisha is not a perfect person, and I don't really like her, but I don't think that this is acceptable at all. Like, even though I don't really have too much respect for her as a person, I still think that it's such a shame that one of her best friends in the world isn't supporting her. And I feel bad for her. Like, I have sympathy for her in what happened, and no one should have to, be treated that way, especially by someone who is working for one of your friends. Shane Dawson, it's just I don't even know how to put into words how I feel about him now, and how I feel about owning this palette, which was such a cash grab, and that the whole internet was believing all of the lies. It's such a shame, and I don't know, just seeing this drama makes me want to use this palette more, just to get rid of it. And it always leaves like a bit of a sour taste in my mouth when I see the shade Trisha in there, him including her in this palette, but not being able to defend her in real life. Like, excuse me? So, anyway, I will see you next time. Lucy is eating her mango, so I'm not going to disturb her. Say goodbye, Sarah. That's my name, by the way. I feel like not that many people know it because I don't say it in the videos, though it is down in the description. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to continue on with this series, and I invite you to join me if you feel the same way about Shane Dawson and you have this terrible palette with you. Using it is an experience because the formula is so inconsistent, but hopefully I can finish this at some point. I mean, it was pretty much a new palette when I started this. Like, I barely used any of the shades in it. I mean, for reasons that I know now, because so many of them are not great. So yeah, I invite you to join me if you want to, or at least join me in watching this video and this series. So, goodbye, Sarah. That sounds so weird. Goodbye from me.